Nothing prepares you to lose your father or your mother or any any of your relatives or loved ones or friends, but specifically in this case, to lose your father. And a son and a father, every son knows, I think every man knows that there's a special bond, there's something special between sons and fathers. And uh, my father, he was uh, he was an adopted son. His parents, his biological parents, they were Holocaust survivors, and they made quite a few kids, and they sold a few of them. Um, my father, I'm not sure if he was one of them or not, if he was sold, but he was adopted by my grandparents, and they were his parents. They were his parents. I my middle name, which is Michael, which is Michael, right? Which is a good name. It's Michael. It's Mike, Jordan, Michael Schumacher, Michael Schumacher, which was he was his biggest fan. He really loved Schumacher. He loved Formula One. Or how does he call it? Formula Eins in German. He was. That's my middle name. My, I mean my name is Amir Michael. So his parents, they adopted him when he was just a little uh, little baby, and only when he was 43 or 44, he was told that he was adopted. And I remember that day I was 13 or 14, and I heard him like shouting, like, "Whoa!" Like my father was like, was one of those men, like was a boomer. He was born in '57. One of those men who don't cry, as opposed to his son. And he told me that the only time in his adult life when he cried was when I was born. And I cried in my adult life way more than like much more than him. And that's fine. I mean, I think every son aspires to be like his father. But it's okay. I mean, we're all different people, and my for my father to admit that he cried, it was a big thing because he really never cried. He was a man's man. Uh, and his parents, my grandparents, they loved him. They he was their son, right? And they're my grandparents. Although I never got to meet them, but I I met many people from his family now. We are sitting Shiva. It's the custom after a Jewish person passes away, then you sit and people come to um, they come to uh, talk to you and hug you and give their condolences. And so many people came from his family that I didn't even know that they existed, because my father, he was a very special. He had his own way, his own attitude towards life. He didn't like. He told me a lot of things. He was a treasure, just treasure filled with stories and interesting stories about all kinds of things, like how once he drove Margaret Thatcher when she was the leader of the opposition, um, in the House of Commons, and she came to Israel to visit. So he was a soldier, and he drove her. He said like her hair was very big hair, and there was a lot of. He was driving the jeep. It was fast, and she tried holding her hair, and she she told him hello, like with a British accent. I can't even do it, like hello. And then when at the end of the drive, at the end of the ride, he said, "Do you always drive like this?" Yeah. Sorry, I can't do my British accent right now. Not that I can. I am really able to do accents. So he was just a treasure filled with stories, with interesting stories. Dad stories. I mean, everyone knows dad stories. They're all so unique and interesting. And I wrote them. We had one final month. I I started writing the stories. I would just sit with him and we talk about random stuff. And suddenly he just started telling me something, and I understood that he's telling me a story, so I have to document it. So I would just write like um, uh, bulletins, so I could enjoy the experience of listening to the story, and then I could from recollect and write it down extensively. And I get to hear more stories now from his family and friends, specifically um, his closest friend, um, who's when you say brother from another mother, then this is it's this is the type of, like, this is the person whose title brother from another mother is based on, like, is really his brother from another mother, and he is his brother from another mother. They were friends from, I don't know, the elementary school, and they were both like little punks, but with big hearts. And they went through everything together, and they helped each other. And only recently, I figured, I realized, I found out. He told me, my dad, that uh, he introduced this guy's wife to him. His friend. He was single. My dad was already married with my mother, and he he really liked cars. he had he always liked cars. He once even sold. He sold somebody an apartment for a Volvo and some cash. So he had a Alfa Romeo. I don't know which model, and with the exhaust, without the exhaust, so you will hear the neighbors will hear that when he's arriving. And once he dated, so he didn't date. I mean, he knew somebody who knew somebody, and he met that girl, that chick, and he took her to that friend's place, and he told him, "Here, I bought your wife," and and today they're married 40, 40 to 40 years, I think. 40, 39, 40 years. They have three children. uh, Very happy, beautiful family. They have grandchildren. And in Judaism, I don't know if it's, I don't know, like there's a saying that someone who makes a shidduch, That's like when you match two people who get married and start a family, then your place in heaven is guaranteed. So my dad, he's he kept saying during his final 2 3 months when he was really suffering, that he really wants to meet his parents. He just wants to meet his parents already. At the same time, he would still, like, it was very hard to get him to the hospital and to get the procedure done. But he was in so much pain that he just had to get his second leg amputated. But he kept saying, "I want to meet my parents." And on Monday, I was next to him on his deathbed in the hospital, although he fell asleep and he just lost consciousness. He didn't know that. He just, as far as he's concerned, he went to sleep and he died at home. So he received his wish. He kept saying, "I just want to die at home. I want to kick the bucket at home." That's what he told the paramedics when they came every time. So I sat next to him and I held his hand. He was unconscious. He was, everything. And I held his hand and I told him, "You're gonna meet your parents soon. You're gonna meet your parents soon." Uh, Maybe 30 seconds after I told him that, the machine. It's like a silly Hollywood movie, like a bad one, like a Hallmark. I don't know, like what the machine. There's a beep and zero, and I went out to the doctors. They told me that there was one very nice doctor. She told me, "Go be with your dad," before it happened. So I'm grateful that she gave me she was on time that she told me to do that. So she came and that's it. That's I saw him draw his last breath. I mean, again, he wasn't there already. I mean, he was, on at the gates of heaven, with the with a red Marlboro in his pocket, at the gate. So I saw the end of his life. It's something I have to process. I I keep trying. I mean, I look at old photos of him. Was he younger? He was a handsome man, very handsome. And that's how I'm gonna remember him. I mean, people told me that people who experienced it told me that it's a privilege to be with your dad, with your parents at the end of their life, and I understand that, though it's very hard on you, but more so when I I I was his caregiver 24/7, a good month, more than a month, and we were together all the time, talking all the time, and I kept telling him, and he told me it's a quality time where we're having quality time together. And we didn't talk about the sickness and the illness and the pain. There was lots of pain. We didn't talk about that all the time. we talked about everything, history, sports, um, stories, women, um, good stuff. We ate and we smoked, we drank. We didn't drink. We didn't drink alcohol. Yeah, I don't either. But we drank Coke Zero, and we listened to music. We listened to My Way, Sinatra's My Way, on Saturday, and it's actually nice. I thought to myself, it's like a cliche that this song is like about him and about other dads and men from his time. Like the type of men who, my way or the highway. That's how he was. That's how he um, that's how he came and that's how he went. And that's a comfort to me that his suffering has ended. In his funeral, after the eulogy, I played My Way, but there was a twist. I played something I didn't know existed, something that, thanks to him, I found out, another gift from him, a duet between. It wasn't a real duet. It was recorded in two different, not live together in a studio, but a duet between Sinatra and Willie Nelson of My Way. And I mean, wow. You have Sinatra at the beginning, and people at the funeral, they didn't know. They thought maybe it's a live version, and suddenly you hear Willie Nelson. And yeah, that was him. It was his way. His terms. I'm nothing like him in that regard. Maybe I try to be a little more. He was the person who knew me the best. He knew me, knew exactly who I am. Nobody else has ever known me so well, and nobody else ever will. Nobody in this entire cosmos. Every person, Viktor Frankl said that every person in this is a special, unique phenomenon in this cosmos, in this universe, that is unique and special and never repeats itself. And so was my dad. For me, my dad was supernova. And not only for me, everybody who knew him knew it. And even the people who didn't like him, they respected him because he wasn't he wasn't he had no ill intentions. And if he hurt somebody, then he'd apologize. He was a man, and he held to his word. And whenever he was mad at me, 20 minutes later, he talked to me and we'd sort it out. He'd apologize, and I'd apologize. And he'd make sure that, we talk it over and we'd understand what happened. He used to say that who is a fool? A fool is somebody who makes a mistake and doesn't learn from it and repeats it. You made a mistake? Good. Now learn what was the mistake and how you don't repeat it. It's a very basic truth but it's something that dads tell their sons, their daughters, mothers, He was a quintessential dad. Everyone has their dads. My dad was my special dad. Quintessential. I couldn't ask for a. He kept saying his last few months in the hospital. He told the medical staff, the nurses, the doctors, everybody told them, I never won the lottery, but I got something better, much better. I got him, and he pointed at me. And I I won the lottery, not a local lottery, not a European lottery. I won the US Powerball, one of the big ones, because he was my dad. I was lucky. I am lucky. Sadly, he last year and this year as well, there was a nurse uh, in the ward, and he told my mom back then that she's for Amir, she's for him. She's divorced. She has children. When my dad met my mom, she was divorced with a son, 6-year-old son, my brother, and he took him under his wing. He adopted him. I mean, not officially, but he was functioned as his dad in each way. The only thing is that he didn't call him dad. He called him by his name. But other than that, and so he told my mom, this girl, this chick, she's for him. And this nurse, she's the real McCoy. I mean, when I saw her last year the first time, and I like I liked what I saw. She's a redhead. My dad liked redheads as well. I never had any preference, but he had some redhead girlfriends, and now in our second rodeo at the hospital, he actually, again, I was with him all the time. I slept at the hospital with him, and he tried to, make a shidduch. Like she would pass, and she would go around, and he would, she even once now that I think about it, I had her. I mean, one morning when he gave me the night to go to sleep at home, or I had to pick up something, then I was coming in the morning to the ward, and on a number that I don't know, I get a call, and it's her, it's the nurse, and she says, Dad wants to know where you are. But Dad knew that I'm gonna come at 8:30 or 8:20. So now when I'm right now, I'm I'm realizing that he was he told her, he knew, he saw her, so he told her, call my son, I don't have her, tell her, where is he? Because he wanted me to have her number. I, I didn't, um, manage to get to give him the pleasure, the comfort, of being a grandfather. Although my brother, right, he's who he was like a father to. He has a son and a sweet son, 10 years old, and he considered his, like, his grandfather and his grandchild and everything. But I didn't get to do it. Why? It's not the subject of this video, but I didn't do enough. Like, I could have done more. But he never pressured me. He just wanted me to, be happy. And part of being happy is starting a family, finding a woman. I mean, who doesn't want love? It's the best thing in life. I'm gonna miss him for the rest until until I uh, until I meet him and smoke a cigarette with him and with my grandmother Leah and my grandfather Michael. I it's still, it comes and goes. I know there's lots of literature about grief, and I was I had anticipatory grief already, although I knew that he could pass away. He knew it. It was obvious, but nothing prepares you. Nothing can prepare you to that. And anything that comes, I'll take it. I'll try to be the best that I can, and I'll live his by his code and by his will and everything that he taught me and educated me, and he educated me well. I I'm not humble in saying that he had educated me well in all kinds of ways, and I learned a lot from him, and I still learn and I will learn from him. Uh, one one day a person is here, the next is not. It's the way of the world, but the way of the world is unfathomable. It's I think I think it's probably one of the hardest experiences a person experiences in his life. Losing a parent, mother, a father. It's something that I dreaded all my life. It seemed like something that will never happen. It will happen maybe when cars will fly, or when they find a cure for diabetes. But it is what it is, and we can only do our best.
suffering has ended. I was blessed from the sky. I was blessed to have him. I'm turning 40. I'm turning 40 in 14 days. Like in 2 weeks I'm turning 40. This is his watch. He had it since 2002, I think. He couldn't take it off his wrist. He's the reason I like watches. At the hospital, when they had to take off his watch for checks and the procedure, when he woke up from the procedure, from the amputation, he was still under the effects of anesthesia, and one of the first questions he asked was, "Where's my watch?" And I quickly put it on his wrist. And now, with the watch, it will always be with me. The Omega Seamaster Bond, the 2541.80, the quartz version, quintessential dad's watch. I love you, Abba, אני אוהב אותך, Abba. And we'll meet again.